a sudden, I found myself in love with the world. So there was only one thing that I could do, was ding-a-ding-dang, my dang-along-ling-long.
Stop talking. You gotta go.
Are we on there?
And welcome to Bowling for Dollars.
All right. When was the last time you went bowling?
Quite a while ago, about 3 years ago.
3 years ago. What do you bowl good?
I'm not bad.
Like 100?
Not good,
Like
but
100? Can you break 100?
I can. Oh yeah, I break 100. Yeah. First game is questionable. Second game, break
You
100,
gotta
maybe
get there.
130, 140.
Got to get the. Oh, really? That's pretty good.
Not bad.
130, 140 for an average player.
Yeah, considering I don't play.
Were you ever on a league?
No, I've never had that
I
opportunity.
think we should start a league.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
That would be cool. I love bowling alleys. Like the food is actually really good.
I was just gonna say the food.
I don't know why the food's so good at bowling alleys.
I think the food's better now than it was because they've really artsied up the whole bowling experience. Now I know they just redid Thunderbird Lanes over on 15 Mile over by us. Yes, this is a selfless plug, but yeah, they redid that whole thing. That thing has been around for years and years. Now I don't think it's open yet, but I've seen the whole place packed up with cars on certain days at odd times. So they got some kind of bowling going on.
I think bowling's on the comeback. I think it is. No, come on now. Listen, anytime we've tried to go bowling, it's always like, no, league night, league night, league night.
That's true.
Can't ever get in. No
That's
lanes
true.
today. Come back in 2 months. You know. It's not the way it used to be, though.
No.
Like
no.
you had to like mark down your own scores and all that.
There's a lot of good bowling alleys around here. There's actually another one, actually 2 blocks from my house. They're redoing the whole thing. I just saw they just ripped out all the ball machines and everything.
Yeah.
Big dumpsters. I mean, that was a lot of metal out in that parking lot.
You remember back in the day, you couldn't get the ball. Half the time it would come back, and the other half the time you'd have to call somebody to go get it for you.
Yeah.
Be stuck behind the thing.
Stuck.
That doesn't happen as much anymore.
Technology.
Yeah, I don't know. Couldn't have been that complicated. It's just a belt, right?
You don't end up with the guy that doesn't know how to do math,
Yeah,
doing the scores on the paper.
right. I didn't get an 81. I got a 181. Doofus.
That's a spare.
You know
Not a
what? I don't bowl properly, though. If you've ever seen me bowl, because I don't bend over. I don't know if that's a prison thing or what, but
You throw the ball.
I throw the ball and it lands about 2 feet before the pins.
Well, there you go. That's an absolute valid technique.
Yeah, but I almost get kicked out every time
Well,
for throwing the ball.
just got to tip them better.
Yeah, I guess so. Don't leave me alone. I don't know what are those floors made out of. My God.
Wood.
No, they can take a beating. Because I throw a 16-pound ball, 60 feet, and it lands hard and doesn't do anything.
Oh, I've seen some kids do some crazy ass stuff too, where they like whip it, go straight into the gutter, jumps over 2 lanes, and lands 3 lanes over.
That would be cool. I think it's because a lot of people don't go out so much anymore. The bowling is kind of coming back. I mean, go out. We were talking about going outside to play back in the day, 70s and 80s.
Mm-hmm.
People don't do that as much as they used to. I think the roller skating rinks are kind of hot too, aren't they?
I don't know if they're hot, but the ones that have survived are.
Every time I
are
go
upgraded.
by that one on 15 Mile, it's packed.
Yep. Yeah, that we used.
The one roller skating
Skate
rink,
World.
Skate
or something
World.
It's like
that,
stepping back into the 70s or the 80s.
And actually, in fact, I think they're right next to each other. There's a bowling alley and a roller skating rink, like
There
right
you
next to
go.
each other. That's all you need to do. Spend the day between those 2 places.
Well, I grew up out on the west
Do
side.
your skating, like turn, where you're like all cool, and then you come off into you come off the thing to go to get yourself a creamsicle. All right.
There's a place I grew up.
I'm going back on, like get you, do that first 2 skates like you're cool. Try not to fall down.
Clunk, 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 clunk. Trying to hold your girlfriend's hand when it's all sweaty and stuff, all that.
Watch, I'll do the backwards move where you have to like go like this somehow. I'm talking about.
No, I never tried that.
No, I never
I
tried.
wasn't that.
I think I attempted it once, but I was the kid who would like go around like that circle and like double the leg over to try to look cool.
My brother-in-law was actually a speed skating racer.
No way.
Yeah. So he used to tour around and did that. He actually worked at a roller skating rink for many years over on the west side of the state, actually.
Is this when they had? So they still have 4 wheels on roller skates, but
Well, they'll let you bring in the roller
Rollerblades.
blades, yeah. Yeah, that they got to check them out, loose bolts. And
all that stuff. That's like you were just talking about Rector sets, but nobody does that anymore either.
no.
Did you know that they approved today? The FDA approved a drug. I can't remember the name of it. It's an opioid that is 1,000 times stronger than morphine.
Oh, well, that makes sense. I mean, with the opioid crisis, why not?
That's exactly what I
That's
said.
That's what the detractors were saying. So
Hey, I'm all for killing pain. People got pain. You got to be able to let them.
1,000 times stronger.
Could you
whoop,
imagine?
whoop.
That's just
Yeah.
called death.
Oh,
I mean, morphine did the job, didn't it? I'd never had it, but that seemed in the movies it did.
in the movies.
Well, they give me the button in the hospital. It's like they put a limiter on it,
Well, I guess one of the side effects, just like any side effect of any drug, one of the side effects was coma and death. Well, I mean, yeah, because it pretty much stops you from feeling anything, including your heart from knowing it's existing.
And probably breathing, yeah.
Yeah, breathing. So,
Yeah, most opioids start on the respiratory system.
yeah, that's not good.
Hey, you got to chill out a little bit, I guess.
Oh, I mean, I would assume you probably don't even know what's happening after you take a
3
shot
of those, you're done.
Yeah, a shot of that stuff.
Woo.
Yeah, they approved that today. So apparently it was developed supposedly for the purposes of the military. So when guys, like get their legs blown off and all this stuff for the field.
Yeah, but part of the battle when somebody has a problem like that is trying to keep their blood pressure up. Going from
I read this.
I know.
I read it briefly.
Wow, that's crazy.
And of course, the detractors are saying, "Well, now you're just gonna make the opioid crisis even worse." Bunch of zombies walking around not feeling anything at all. Just telling you.
Well, that's my first thought, but that's the propaganda.
How did we get from erector sets to this?
opioids, drugs?
I don't recall. Did you ever do the erector set stuff? I did that when I was little, but I got frustrated. It's kind of like going to IKEA and like.
I had to fall back. Here's how the erector sets work for me. When I used to go to my grandmother's cottage way up north, she had all my dad's old toys there, and he had a big box of erector set stuff. He loved that shit when he was a kid.
Yeah.
And so that was my fallback. There was no other good toys around, so I had to like screw around with that.
Yeah,
it's like sharp edges, slicing up my fingers and bolting shit together.
Yeah, like jarts.
Yeah.
Like throwing big spikes up in the air and trying to avoid them.
Well, that was actually good for thinning the herd in the neighborhood because, there was always those kids in the neighborhood you didn't like, right?
Well,
So
you have to. We talked about you have to thin the herd anyway. Somehow. Put them on, we talked about putting them on cruise ships and sinking them. But this is one way to do it.
If you're not familiar with our humor, we usually start off with the obituaries. So we have a new engineer today. so
Actually, who has died this week?
it's been kind of quiet.
Nobody's dying.
Nobody's dying.
Nobody famous has died recently. Ryan, anybody? You think? I don't know. Last couple of weeks?
Not that I know of.
There's a few people we could take out, though, that don't deserve to be here anymore. I'm not going to name names.
Don't look at me like that.
No, I know a name. If you listen to my past podcasts, you know. But I'm not going to say the name, so I'll leave it alone.
Do you get a car?
Oh my gosh.
I do not want to kill Ellen DeGeneres. No. I think she's quite funny, actually.
Love her.
We love Ellen.
Love,
I love
Ellen.
She's a cool cat. All right. So, I was telling you that Lowe's is shutting down stores.
Yeah, I thought they were on top of their game. What's up with that?
No, I don't think, I think, again, people are finding more venues to, these big box stores are all going to crumble.
Is Amazon killing them? I think it is.
Well, Amazon, we're going to sidetrack a little bit. So there's a leak today that they are selecting Northern Virginia for their HQ2.
Yeah.
That was a leak, though, and one of their PR people put out a thing like hashtag don't you know your NDA or something, non-disclosure agreement, because they weren't supposed to leak it. Plus, Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post, apparently, which I didn't.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No, I did not.
Yeah, and guess who was writing for the Washington Post?
Me.
John Podesta.
Who?
John Podesta was the, he was the, I'm trying to remember his title. He worked for under the Hillary campaign.
Oh, yeah.
Creepy guy.
Yep.
Really creepy.
I don't want to talk about creepy people. We're in a Michigan election right now.
Do tell.
No, I can't.
Nope.
I mean, my businesses are in the government, so I can't say anything.
I don't trust any one of them son of a bitches, to be
I
honest.
can't say anything right now. I can't say anything at all much about politics.
Nope.
So-
We're going to just skirt right around that one.
Just gonna go.
We found
Right
the bell.
turn, Clyde.
I don't like to talk about my accolades too much, but I was in like 3 magazines this
Yeah,
week.
you were. You were.
Wasn't Playgirl, was it?
Yeah. How'd you know that?
Just a few.
It was like the
times.
Burt Reynolds edition.
The legacy of
Put you on page 6 after Burt.
All right. Here's Bert. Here's me in my bikini. Wait.
No,
My Chinese.
with your Japanese,
My Japanese
Amazon
vest.
shirt you
Amazon
bought.
vest. What magazines was I in this week? I can't remember. Entrepreneur, Forbes.
Equities.
What was it?
Equities magazine.
Equities. That sounds pretty hobnobby.
I know, doesn't it?
Fancy schmancy.
Fancy.
Oh, do tell. Pinky, when in doubt, pinky out.
I don't know. I've lost track.
That's
I'm
pretty cool.
I'm actually a few behind.
You got a very cool award.
Yeah, I got the Golden Bridge Award for Executive of the Year.
Of the world.
Executive of the
Executive
year.
of the world. Executive of the world. Executive of the
I
Year.
am your leader.
IT.
for information
executive.
technology. Yeah.
Is that based in world or North America?
No, it's the world.
The world.
Yeah, the whole fucking world.
Oh, damn.
Did you not
What's up
know
with that?
you were sitting with greatness?
You should see my speech.
I need a job. I need a real job.
It was in San Francisco.
I love my current job, just to be on the record. Love it.
Love it. Just so you know, the Golden Gate Bridge is in gold. Many people already know that, but it's maroon, like a dirty maroon.
You bunch of maroons.
Yeah. In San Francisco, I don't know about that place. I was on the top of the hill. So our cab driver says to us, don't worry about it. You're at the top of the hill and crime's lazy. That's what he said.
Best cab ride I ever had, I
Oh,
think.
it kind of was.
Did you take the Quake City Express there?
No, we just took a regular cab. I try to support the cab drivers because I was one when I was like 19, but so I don't do Uber or anything like that. But
Look at all the money you could save, man. Come on, where's your fiscal responsibility?
I'm a yellow cab guy.
Yellow cab.
Yeah, just give me an old yellow cab. That
No, I
doesn't
jumped
run
into
too
the
long.
one with the crazy Russian that said Quake City with like shaking letters on the side of the van. The thing had no suspension. You could hear the U-joints and the just rattling as we were going over hills. I mean, it was kind of like a chase scene from Bullet, where the guy's like, Streets of San Francisco. We had 8 people in that van. And, I mean, we got airborne a couple of times. There's no wonder there was no tie rods on that thing.
Yeah. San Francisco's, man, those hills are crazy. Some of them I don't know, probably 40-degree angles. I feel like you're just going up a roller coaster. I can't imagine walking up those. Walking down might be fine, but walking up, forget
Well,
it.
see, you walk up and then you go down the other side.
Dude, the place is packed. San Francisco is just jam-packed in there.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like a third world country. It does. If you go on the Golden Gate Bridge and look at San Francisco, it looks like you're looking at Honduras.
Everything's stacked.
Everything looks like
Everything's stacked.
stacked on top of each other. Yeah.
Okay. It's not quite the same construction, though.
Yeah,
No.
that's true.
Tin and like pallets holding it together.
Yeah, right. Mud houses. Yeah, what about that caravan? What do you think about that? Working its way through from, I think it's Guatemala and Honduras. Ryan, do you know anything about this?
Honduras and Guatemala. Yeah.
Ryan, let's talk about a topic you do know about.
Yeah, Ryan.
What do you
tell us
We're
about
tell us about
dragging the
yourself.
engineer in,
tell us
kicking
about
and screaming.
yourself.
This is going back a few minutes, but I did work at a skate rink once.
Oh, did you?
It was pretty awesome.
Were you the skate guy? Did you have to
Skate
spray
rentals.
the shoes?
Yeah, I did all that stuff.
What is that stuff they put in there?
Chemicals.
Chemicals. Just lots of chemicals.
Spray bleach, I guess.
Yeah.
Ammonia.
Did you go onto the floor ever?
Oh, all the time, yeah.
Were you sporting moves for the ladies?
Never got that good, but I did like skating, so, it was fun. I got free arcade stuff, so, just
That's
play all
cool.
the games.
Yeah, there you go.
Got paid, so that's cool.
Got paid to give out Slurpees and spray shoes and
Yeah.
Was it around here?
It was in Westland.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah, a
All right.
little ways from here, but
Nice.
No, not too far.
yeah. But I wanted to bring that up, but that's probably about all the topics you talked about. The only thing I can put my 2 cents in. Right
okay,
now.
that's when you got to pipe in.
All right. Sorry.
Feel free.
It started in Guatemala and Honduras, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I hear they're well funded too.
Well, just like any human nature, things are starting to kind of fall apart. Right. I mean, these people are doing a 2,000-mile trek across three countries, right? So I guess they fought the Mexican military at the border and made it through by throwing rocks at them, and not everybody, but that's essentially how they got through.
I question the Mexican military's resolve in that situation.
Yeah.
Rocks,
Yeah.
really?
So they got through. Well, I think they knew that they didn't want to actually stay in Mexico. They were on their way to the U.S., right? But
Well,
it
look.
causes a huge Mexican problem, though, because they have to watch these people all the way through, and there's a lot of
Just like we would when they get here.
we're not letting them walk through. It's not like they're going to Canada, right? And that they're not going to make it through Chicago.
Well, we're just not going to just send them right up to Canada there? Let them enjoy the Great White North there?
right. And where are we now? Alaska.
It's
Why is it so
cold here. What the hell? Why did we come to here?
From one equator
It's
to
warm where I was
from
at.
the equator to the North Pole. The U.S. is that way. Just keep going until you see white and bears. Keep walking. You're not in the U.S. yet.
Rumored. They actually are carrying bags with U.S. aid on them.
I'm not sure. So I think the caravan is about 5,000 to 10,000 people. I think what's happening is that as of the last couple days, my understanding is that they felt safe in groups, because working your way through Mexico is no safe thing to be doing, right?
Makes sense.
Right. So, but I think that just as human nature's kicking in, right? They're getting tired and hungry, and now I think that they're split into two factions essentially, and many have given up, and applied for asylum either in Mexico or asking to return to their countries.
Now, there's a good one. I'm actually going to go to Mexico and apply for asylum there.
I must go to show you how bad Honduras and Guatemala must be.
Is it really that bad?
According to reports, it's not like I've been there myself to check it out, but it sounds like pretty
I'm sure it's pretty
wrangled.
Yeah.
But Mexico's no party either.
No.
Probably a little bit better off as far as criminal activity. But so now the Mexican government is worried about these people being basically kidnapped along the tour, right? I mean, being plucked out,
Oh, yeah.
or they're jumping into trucks to get an easier ride, but what they don't know is that they're never coming back. Right.
Right.
All right. So people are they're starting to split. My understanding is they're about 800 miles from the U.S. border. So they don't expect them. Whoever's going to make it, they don't expect them for at least a few more weeks. But Trump is sending down. How many people is he sending down?
I heard 5,000.
5,000 military troops to assist the Border Patrol in stopping the entrance, the illegal entrance. And it's supposed to be, we'll see how it really goes down, somewhat of an organized process to apply for asylum is another way to get in legally.
Right.
Because they're not coming from Mexico. They're coming from Honduras or Guatemala or whatever.
Well, they wanted to go to a different country. They're in Mexico. Problem solved.
Yeah, they're not stopping there. That's not the reason they left. Apparently, the intent the entire time is to make it to the U.S. But, so some people end up getting in through asylum. But I think by the time the herd thins out, no pun intended, I mean, you're not going to end up with but a couple thousand people tops.
I get crabby in a minivan full of food with my family going 1,500 miles down to Florida.
Yeah.
Imagine how crabby you'd be after a couple 1,000-mile little, 800-mile walk. I would be.
I think all told, it's been like 1,500 miles for some people. That's like walking from here to, what, Texas?
Yeah, give or take, yeah.
For freedom. From crime and violence and so on and so forth.
Yeah, but I had to endure crime and violence the whole way there.
Yeah. Yep. They say it's cheaper than to pay the, what do they call them? The people that get you across the border.
Coyotes.
Coyotes.
Yeah.
Because they rip you off, and the police are kind of corrupt and all this kind of stuff.
Well, I heard Mexico's big complaint was every city that they kind of drift through, it's, problematic. People, robberies and different things like that. So,
I think it's probably going both ways.
Right.
That's speculative, but I'm thinking it's going both ways. I think that those people are being
they're being victimized and victimizing.
And victimizing at the same time. But it might start to become like a thing. Caravans. This happens all over the Middle East, though. I mean, I don't know if people are aware of that people do this.
No.
They do this constantly.
Elaborate a little bit.
Ask the Israelis or the Jordanians or the Turkish how many caravans try to make their way into their countries every day. Constantly.
Iraq.
And they do provide asylum for these people.
Yeah, Jordan's actually been, if I recall, actually pretty good about providing people asylum.
Well, the Jordanians are very Americanized, as are the Turkish, and they do permit people to come into their country. King Abdullah, who was the king of Jordan, I was saying, he was actually on like Star Trek once.
Get out.
Yep.
Oh, no. We got to put a link in that.
Not to get like nerd fest because I don't watch the show, but he was actually a guest on the new Star Trek show.
One of the new ones? Okay.
Yeah, he was a guest on the show. I guess he liked it that much. But then again, Kim Jong-un likes Elvis, and everything else American.
Yeah, but Abdullah had
his father liked it even more, American stuff. Like he's obsessed with like American music and all this kind of stuff.
Well, what's going on with the guy that disappeared at the Saudi Arabian embassy? What's going on with that? They chopped his ass up, man.
Oh, yeah. So I guess so. Well, obviously, yeah, they chopped him into pieces.
So he must have done something.
Well, he was a detractor, if you will.
Of what?
From the Saudi government. He was outspoken about the current prince's policies.
The current prince.
Correct. So,
okay.
And he went to school, I believe, in the U.S., but he loved his country, he says. Well, he said in past tense. But he was a detractor, meaning he was very critical of their government. Right? He thought they were going backwards, and maybe rightfully so, because a lot of human rights have kind of reversed under this administration, if you will.
Yeah, but I think they did have a major power struggle there, and I think part of that power struggle was part of the corruption that was going on in Saudi Arabia. So if I understand this guy's affiliations correctly, and they could be propaganda, I don't know, but he was aligned with the Muslim Brotherhood, which is very much against the Saudi Arabian princes.
Well, of course.
In general.
Well, right. It took over the Egyptian government for quite some time. The Muslim Brotherhood did. I don't know if he was aligned with them or not. Let's say he was or he wasn't. Either way, this guy went into the Turkish embassy, to chill out. And I think
they made him into shawarma.
I think he was trying to get a marriage license, in fact.
What?
Yeah.
To what, his third or fourth wife?
Well, probably 10th. I don't know. So he was in there to get a marriage license, but they knew he was coming. So
Yeah, they did.
yeah, they did. So they sent a bunch of whoever. So anyway, I don't know how to get through this in a logical order. Basically, the Saudis denied that they had any involvement, and they had to admit that they had involvement because the Turkish have secret programs that watch the embassies. So they saw him apparently on video get chopped into pieces.
What?
So
they actually got the video of them?
They had the video and they showed it to the American administration. And basically said, you can't deny it. Here it is on video. We see him walk in. It's not just a matter of the guy walked in because
did he walk in and then just not come out?
A double walked out. A double of him
kidding.
walked out the back. They had a double walk out.
I did hear about this one.
Right.
'Cause
Okay.
the double was like so bad, I guess.
I guess the double was not good at all.
Really?
Yeah, it was like
Short little fat guy.
yeah, it was like Danny DeVito or something walked out the back. It's
A
like
woman. Yeah.
that's not him.
Something
Yeah, like
that.
I forgot which version. It's the actual guy was bald, and the double had hair. Like it was like that bad.
Yeah. They didn't put too much effort into making that one right. Like Saddam Hussein had a good double, right?
You have one job.
Yeah,
One job.
look like this guy, and they had like Danny DeVito walk out the back or something,
Oh
right?
my gosh.
Or Joe Pesci, right? And they're like, no, that's not him. So, but apparently worse than that, they had video and audio of the occurrence. Plus, they had video of Saudi intelligence agents going in. It's about the same, just prior to the meeting, prior to him showing up. So, anyway, long story short, they basically chopped him into pieces.
Oh, here's the bags
And
going
they-
out to
they-
the dumpster.
They found DNA evidence that he had died inside the embassy
You
because
can't
the Turkish government sent.
Maybe it was just call girls, and maybe he was just peeing on the bed.
Apparently, yeah, you can't hide.
I'm
that.
just saying.
They were. I guess they hired a maid service to come in and bleach it up.
What kind of maid
It's like,
service is
yeah,
that?
maid service. It looks like John Wick. You know?
Yeah. What kind of maid service?
No, they hired a cleaning company before the Turkish people got there to investigate, and they had cleaned up with a lot of bleach, but it didn't get rid of it. They weren't good at
Here,
it.
clean up this blood. Don't ask
Well,
questions.
Watch
in
out for-
Saudi Arabia, they don't normally have to
True.
clean up a whole lot. Usually, they just do it on a soccer field.
Yeah,
right?
the whole place is like Vegas, right? You just bury somebody in it. Well, not true, right? Just throw you out in a soccer field and bury you in the sand.
Hey, we're selling tickets.
Yeah, chop chop.
Can't get away with anything
Yeah, so
anymore.
it put Trump in a weird position because, all these deals that we're trying to do with Saudi Arabia would just end up elsewhere. So people wanted, I hate to use this word, they wanted the prince's head, if you will, right?
Yeah.
But Trump's going, look, yeah, he has to be, we'll investigate, somebody's got to be punished for it, but you don't understand. On the other hand, the arms deals and all this kind of stuff that we have going on and oil prices, we don't want to.
No,
We
not
don't
over
wanna-
one guy.
It's not
Yeah,
over one
one
dude.
dude.
That's not gonna happen.
We're not going to.
Trust me, if I gotta pay like $3.50 a gallon for gas, I don't give a shit about that guy.
Yeah.
To be honest, I hate to be a cold, calculating mother, but
Yeah, but it goes back.
sorry, dude, you made a mistake.
It's all connected to our continued dependence on foreign oil. It's sickening. because we don't need to be. We don't need to be.
We're working on it.
We've been working on it for 20 years, and they still, the nuclear option got killed about, I'm going to age myself, 10, 15 years ago. We tried to get bills passed to build nuclear facilities to become independent. That got killed. Then anytime we go to oil drill.
Oh, yeah, you had Chernobyl. Chernobyl, killed any.
Well, it started with 3 Mile Island, actually. Now I'm really aging
Yeah,
myself.
3 Mile Island was definitely a.
That was like.
But nothing bad happened there. Chernobyl was the icing. That was the one that put it away.
Yeah, the icing on the cake. I'll agree that was the cake. The icing on the cake was the Japanese one. They're still dealing with that.
Yeah, that's still a smoking hole.
So the nuclear option came off the table.
But how many tsunamis are we going to get in the United States?
Yeah, I'm right, but that wasn't the point. The point was if they do go bad, they go bad.
Bad.
And Chernobyl, look at the people in Chernobyl. You got kids coming out with 50 eyeballs, and
They're still being
it's terrible.
affected.
It's terrible. Generations and generations destroyed. You know.
Yeah, there
for
was
a long
guys that
time.
died within hours after that. Those soldiers that were putting that fire out. That horrific, absolutely horrific.
Yeah, just rip.
But hey, we have so much technology now. Can't we get the technology right to be able to back that up, to be able to stop that situation? Because Chernobyl was a whole bunch of bad decisions being made all in a row. And you know how Russians are. They're a little nutty, right? Not judging, but that
No.
whole
Yeah,
the
fair
whole
enough.
reason Chernobyl melted down was because they were doing a test and they weren't doing it correctly, and they didn't have the right people and the right processes in place.
Welcome to IT.
Oh God.
Welcome to technology. Right, but when you're dealing with nuclear weapons and not Salesforce software, it's a little bit different, right?
Some people would act that Salesforce is just as bad as a nuclear meltdown, but
right. So we have plenty of capabilities with fracking. We have oil in the U.S. domestically, particularly in Alaska, which nobody wants to touch, and off the coasts, which nobody wants to touch. We could be independent for hundreds of years.
I hear
nobody
Venezuela's having some problems down there.
Well, their economy.
There's an opportunity.
Their economy is in the dirt. I mean, absolutely. But a lot of that's political corruption.
It is.
They just got a new president.
Yeah,
about
and
a week ago.
he's still selling the whole same load of crap that brought them down where they were at.
You're talking about Hugo Chavez.
Yeah, it started with Chavez, and then there was the next guy, and I don't know who this new guy is.
This new guy is just as crazy as the rest of them.
Oh, God.
I mean, he's talking about
Those poor people. They are really...
people not worth raping, and I mean, he says all kinds of weird stuff.
What?
Look up do me a favor while we're talking about other stuff. Look up quotes from Venezuelan president, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And he got elected by the people, but their economy's in tatters. I mean, it's just completely done, which is why, I'm not a Bitcoin fan, but which is why Bitcoin is doing so well there, because there's no other escape. There's no other escape. They're having to change out of their own currency, and they're using Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies as a mechanism for purchasing, because the value of their dollar is just dirt.
Desperate people will do desperate things.
Yeah, you got some quotes?
No.
Okay, that means she might keep talking. Yeah, Venezuela. It's beautiful. It's unfortunate. So South American countries are also, beautiful places, but, well, I guess, pretty much there's a lot of countries that are like that are, if you're not finding anything, look up the Venezuelan president quotes or something. The guy's a maniac.
The connection's poor.
He's like Duarte from the Philippines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This guy's just a maniac. So, but to your point, though, opportunity could present itself. But he is anti-U.S., though.
Well, here's the thing. I think the idea was thrown around, hey, we got to throw some military aid down there and try to help them out. But, everybody gets their hackles up. They think we're going to, like, walk into the next Vietnam. It's like, no, we're just going to go down there and try to help these people. They're starving to death, for crying out loud. So now we can't do anything because it's politically inexpedient to, like, go help somebody.
Yeah, but then if we do that, then we have to do, pick and choose your battles. So say, for example, if we did that in Venezuela, what's the payback?
Oil.
No, I understand.
Oil,
but
I mean, let's just not be like all politically correct.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Right?
Is we're always trying to be politically correct. So if you were to do that, unlike the Chinese, for example, who are not politically correct about anything.
Oh God, no!
They'll
They go in there in a heartbeat.
They'll destroy your country.
Yeah.
If we go in and do something, it's got to be for a purpose. Here, let me give you a couple examples.
I think stopping people from starving to death would be a good start. I mean, it's just a debt.
No,
Right?
I know, but that goes on everywhere.
It's debits and credits, right?
Look at all of Africa, for God's sake, right?
Well, they got gold, they got uranium, they got gemstones, they got all that stuff, and it's like, well, okay, you have a natural resource that you could trade that would offset those debts.
Oh,
They don't care.
This is
Yeah.
They don't care.
outrageous quotes from Venezuela's Nicolas Maduro.
Oh, Maduro, the cigar guy.
Yeah, economic meltdown, a tsunami of violent crime, and weeks of anti-government protests may be the least of his problems. Has the knack for the kind of oddball public statements that suggest a loose grip on both reality and the Spanish language. Here are some of the things he said. Number one, they inoculated Commander Chavez, who's talking about Hugo Chavez, with that illness to get him out of the way and create a situation of destruction for Venezuela and its independent revolution, basically saying that the U.S. was involved in giving him cancer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He said there is a nymphomania of dollars in many sectors that is impossible to satisfy. Talking about Venezuelans or nymphos about money.
If they ain't got none, I'd be a nympho too. When you're not getting it.
Wasn't there one in there about him sleeping on?
Sleeping on Chavez's grave.
Yeah.
Sometimes I come at night, COME. Sometimes I come at night. Sometimes I sleep here often. You don't even realize it. The neighbors sometimes realize it. Oh, what is he talking about?
He sleeps on his grave.
Yeah, he's a weirdo.
Wow. If I was Venezuelan, I'd be like, how the hell did we get that?
Yeah, how'd they vote him in?
It was Satan
Right?
or a socialist.
Christ
Right.
did what? He said spectacular mangling the Bibles last August. In fairness to Maduro, this one was a slip of the tongue, and he instantly corrected himself. He said, "Multiply ourselves like Christ multiplied the penises."
Yes.
Okay. You know what? People get on Trump for his crazy ass tweets,
I
but
know,
I'm
right?
telling you,
I was
that's
thinking
like,
the same thing.
wow. That's no,
That's
holy
bizarre.
God.
Bizarre.
Those poor people down there.
Okay, food shortage. You want to talk about food? We need to reduce extreme consumption to achieve.
I sent you the picture of the before and after the
yeah.
guy's store, right?
To achieve a point of equilibrium between supply and a fair price, I trust in the hardworking majority of this country. Look, these
You're
are
fat, get out.
those are simple quotes to some of the stuff he said. The guy needs to go. I know.
Yeah, but they're too weak to
co-
fight.
I don't know. These countries are always susceptible to coups, right? So, South American and Middle Eastern countries. I mean,
Yeah.
no,
The Chinese will probably come in and help them out.
the Venezuelans.
Yeah.
I don't know how involved they are with them. It's oil, so it's more Russian. The Russians are much closer. Hugo Chavez and Vladimir Putin were yip-yapping all the time.
Yeah, but you heard about the Chinese that were actually had steel that they were dumping down in South America to drive the prices up. They have found like these areas down in South America where the Chinese were just dumping steel.
When was this?
Within the last 2 to 3 years.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Just actually before 2016 election.
to drive up the price of steel.
To drive up the price. They were just dumping it in South America. Might be a tinfoil hat, but you know, they probably scrubbed it from Google.
Yeah, you got to think about like how many. Be fortunate that we live here. I mean, we have our share of corruption in politics, and we complain about it all the time, but not like these countries.
Hey, if I'm hungry, I can go down to Wendy's for $1 meal.
You know when I went to McDonald's the other day?
Did you like it or not?
No, I don't go there as much as I used to.
They've gotten better.
I eat so much food. I'm surprised I don't die in my car. I'm not kidding. I ordered like 3 Filet-O-Fish sandwiches, 2 Big
Dear
Macs.
God, man.
And I was still hungry when I was done.
Show no restraint.
Gluttony. One of the 7
Oh,
sins.
I think of it when I go in, but then I chill out, I back up, and I just go with the meal. You know.
No, I go with the
One meal?
Well, I go,
Oh yeah, one
Like-
meal.
I
One meal.
basically
normal
get 3
human being.
meals.
Oh, I've thought about it. You know, there's been days when I pull up, we'll walk up to the counter, and I'm like, okay, I'll take the double cheeseburger meal, and then I could
Chicken
do it.
nuggets and the,
In my mind, I know I could do it.
I have hungry eyes when I go there.
you have hungry
You know, like
tummy.
when you go to the grocery store, you never go to the grocery store. Don't go to the grocery store full, because the problem is you walk out with much of nothing.
No.
If you go empty, you buy everything. I think you
And you
should have
got
like
stuff.
a little snack before you go in. Then you make good choices. Right?
A little bit of
Is
balance.
that true? I mean, you go in there. It's true, Ryan, right?
You're hungry.
Totally. I've been fault of that a bunch of times. I'm like, why do I have all this stuff?
Yeah.
But definitely helps if you have a little something.
Yeah, if you have a look, maybe a few peanuts or something before you go in, you balance out your desire to buy everything.
Holy God, mother of pearl, the Cheetos are on sale 3 for $1.
I'll get 13.
10 for
Wait,
10. Why do I
that's
need
not a good
that?
multiple.
10 for 10.
10 for 10? I know, everything seems like a great deal. Yeah, and stuff you don't even like. You know, cauliflower on sale.
Hell yeah.
Feel it.
Get a whole bunch of Velveeta cheese and just
Oh, yeah.
douse it in that.
That'd be
I
amazing.
hate cauliflower, but Velveeta cheese on anything is pretty good.
That would make it
That's
happen.
heaven.
You know, I don't like Velveeta's actual mac and cheese though.
No.
I like it's too thick.
Craft.
Good as what's the salsa? You do the salsa and the Velveeta cheese mix. What's that called?
Con queso.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I'm
That
talking
makes
about.
That's
sense like
good.
the
I'm
case.
That's
talking
real
about
good.
Velveeta sells mac and cheese in their box, and then you got Kraft.
It's not bad.
Then it's so thick though.
Well, I think that's their thing.
That's I know,
That's it.
but it's like
Right?
eating Cheese Whiz. You know,
They call it liquid gold, I think. That's their like.
Yeah.
Oh,
slogan.
that's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
liquid gold. Okay, fair enough. But you know, most people are used to Kraft, right?
Yeah.
Where you kind of make up your own consistency because you add milk, however much milk you want, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Or in Velveeta, you just squeeze out that packet.
I got an idea.
Oh, no.
Velveeta in a spray can.
That's
Velveeta-
called Cheese Whiz.
No. Velveeta macaroni and cheese in the can. Big extra
Okay.
big nozzle.
Yeah.
It's all
Shoot out little
That-
shoot out little macaronis.
Little macaronis with
That's an
cheese.
awful idea.
Actually, I think Velveeta sells it with shells though. You'd have to have a
You
shell
could do
shape.
shell shooters.
You're hungry. I think you're hungry.
No, actually, I ate pretty well before I came
Okay,
here. I actually
alright.
had the cauliflower with the cheese on it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
All right.
Did you really?
Yeah,
Before you came here?
Yeah.
And we just ended up talking about it.
yeah. It's kind of weird, isn't it?
Kind of weird. Why do you eat cauliflower? That stuff's like tastes like a dumpster.
It beats the hell out of broccoli. Well, no, broccoli is probably second on the list, and then it's better than Brussels sprouts.
Don't get me started.
The only thing Brussels sprouts are good for is shooting in a slingshot.
I don't understand it. I don't get it. My sometimes they'll do fancy things with them at a restaurant, like fry them in this and put vinaigrette on. I'm like, you're just masking them. the fact that it tastes like a piece of poop, right? and
bitter little piece of cabbage.
you know broccoli. I tell her, do not cook broccoli anywhere near this house.
Now
Because
broccoli ain't bad.
it is. It makes okay. You have two options: cook a bunch of broccoli, or go take a massive shit and leave the door open. It smells the same.
All right.
Something to think about.
Just fine.
And now you know. What about asparagus?
I can deal with the tips. The rest of it, like all stringy and stuff.
Isn't that what Archer said? Just a tip.
Why? This has to be edited out now. just the tip. Just the tip. I don't know. Ryan, give us a random topic, just like completely random, and then we're gonna take a break.
Isn't tomorrow for the vote the marijuana thing? I know that's been a big.
That is tomorrow.
Oh, it is.
Oh, dude.
Legalize.
Guess how I'm voting.
marijuana.
I've got glaucoma.
Talk about the cheese whiz, man.
Well,
Got my Cheetos. I got my Cheese Whiz. We're good.
cauliflower and Velveeta and some weed. You guys are crazy. All right, so yeah, that is up for tomorrow, isn't it? And it'll get approved by far.
You think?
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Any stats on it?
I can look.
See if it's any the phone telephone caller votes, polls. So yeah, it'll pass.
So if it passes, does that mean we can just sit here in the studio and blaze up?
So here's my light understanding of it. I don't smoke pots, but
No,
for those who do, fine, do whatever you want to do. There's a certain number of ounces, I think, that are going to be legal to carry around. Like, I think it's 2.5, which I'm not sure how much that is, but I think it's a pretty fair amount. And then, but what I found interesting about it, and I haven't read the legislation directly, but this is an excerpt. Essentially, it'll be legal, but your employer still has the ability
to drug test you
and make rules at work. So they don't have a bunch of pot smoking
your business,
people walking around.
There's certain businesses that are federally regulated.
Well, even private businesses are allowed to say, "Listen, not here." So they'll have this argument of, "Well, it's legal, so I can smoke pot at work." That's what they're trying to avoid. So they gave employers, the ability to say, "Not at our place, though." You can still be fired for it. You can still be drug tested. You can still be whatever. So, I mean, it negates, it kind of balances out the workplace. But to Ryan's point, I think that is up for tomorrow.
It's favored.
It is favored to win.
Favored.
I'm not sure of any states that have declined once that's come up for
I don't know. It seems like they decline, and then finally.
Well, this is years ago.
Yeah.
This is years ago, though. And I mean this respectfully. Once you got the gay marriage thing on, for example, okay, you got who did it first? Vermont. I think it's Vermont that did it first.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Right. Then you get the second state, and once you get the third, you're starting to get momentum and a quorum, if you will. And then I can't remember how states it is now. Pretty much every state you can get married if you're gay. It's the same thing with marijuana. It started in Colorado, right? I think it was Colorado.
Well, Colorado, yeah. Were they the first?
I think they were first.
They're one of the major states that actually did it. Yeah.
We could Google it. How many states are now permitted?
There's a bunch of them now.
Yeah, there's
Washington. I thought
D.C.
Yeah.
What the
D.C. That was weird.
No, you're talking about Washington State, right?
No,
I thought it was
D.C.
D.C.
Oh,
yeah.
D.C.
It was D.C.
Okay.
See, the way they made the laws, they made it you could sell it, you could give it away, you could smoke it, you could have it, but you couldn't sell it. It was like a freaking utopian, law. Well, let's see. We're just going to give it away.
And in California, they had the thing because it's legal there now, and they're like, you can bring it through LAX, but like wherever you're going, it's like on you then. So it's like
Right.
you can go there, and if you go to a state, obviously that, it's not, legal there, you could get busted. So it's like, what?
Yeah, right. So if you
Like,
get
how
off,
does that make any sense?
so yeah,
I'm
well,
not getting on the plane, that's for sure.
Yeah.
well, they're not federal laws; they're state laws, right? So you got to pay attention.
Yeah,
to
but it depends. The TSA is fed, so if the TSA picks it up on you, drug dogs don't give a crap whether it's fed or state. They're gonna go.
Federal
Yep.
laws state trumps state law.
No, I understand that. I'm saying that no, you're to your point. I don't know how that would work, right? Because TSA is fed. So if you get on the plane in a state where it's legal, it's probably just all the best not to get on a plane with marijuana.
Yeah, don't do
If you're gonna go to a state where it's legal, wait till you get there and buy it there.
I hit it the only place I could.
Yeah, nobody wants to go there, right? I read a documentary one time. Watched a documentary one time that they were interviewing street dealers and saying, "Is this hurting your business?" And they said, "No, it's actually helping." And they said, "How so?" "It's legal. You can buy it anywhere now." They're like, "Not at our prices, you can." It's a third cheaper on the street than it is in the store.
I see a business opportunity here.
Why
It's called drug dealing.
Well, no, growing it at the right price.
No, so well, I mean, then you go through licensing and all that kind of stuff. But the street dealers are not; they're not getting it legally, right? They're still
True.
getting it illegally.
True.
They said it has actually helped their business because police can't tell the difference between a legal version and an illegal version. So if it's cheaper to get it on the street at a third of the price, why go into a store? There would be reasons to go into a store. You're getting a regulated product, of course.
Right.
That would be the major reason for
Yep.
your health purposes, if you will.
You get the suckers and the edibles and
you're
all
getting
that
the real deal, and it's been regulated and watched, and the process of it growing has been watched, so you're getting the real deal. Whereas a street vendor, it could be laced with
Oregano.
whatever, or just be oregano or whatever. But they're saying it was actually helping their business. I'm not giving out advice. I'm simply suggesting that that's what they said.
Well, we do talk about business opportunities as it goes. So I'm always trying to think outside the box because
Outside the box. That'll put you in the box. Being a drug dealer. Put you in the prison box. All right, we're going to take a break and come back for the second half. A little bit of a branding exercise.
branding.
Because branding's important.
Marketing is evil of everything in the world.
Maybe so, but it works.
Well, that's why the web guy gets 2,000 views and we got 7. So
Who? Me?
no, one of the interviews we did, you did about 2 months ago.
Yeah.
2,500 views.
I interviewed
killing
somebody.
it.
I interviewed someone, or
Right.
Yeah, it was the
Ryan,
web guy.
Ryan Doom.
How does a web guy, with all of his web stuff, get 2,500 views?
Because he has a cool name.
Doom.
Ryan Doom.
Oh.
I don't know.
All right. I've got to change my name.
Yeah, you got to change your name.
Doomster.
You could be
He's a cool guy. I like Ryan.
Dopey.
Destroyer of worlds.
All right, branding exercise.
Branding.
So here are the rules of the game, Ryan, as well. You can't take but 2-3 seconds to answer this because if you think about it too hard, it's not effective. Let me give you an example. When you think of a luxury car, you think of Kirk.
Lexus.
Aston Martin.
Corvette, I guess.
Carfax?
A Corvette.
Oh, Corvette.
Oh,
Corvette,
nice.
Aston
Corvette.
Martin,
Lexus.
Lexus.
I'm just, yeah.
No. Whatever
Yeah.
first comes to your head.
You got it.
Aston Martin.
I don't even like Lexuses. That's the thing. That's kind of weird, isn't it?
That's the point of the exercise. When you think of burgers, you think of
Burger King.
Double cheeseburgers.
Five Guys.
So Five Guys, Burger King, McDonald's.
All right, there you go.
Well, double cheeseburgers, McDonald's, technically.
Makes
right?
sense now.
Okay.
In and Out. Mm-hmm.
No. You can't have two answers. Yeah.
Watch me.
You're,
I'm going to have 2 answers.
You're pinged. Well, I had 2 words.
I'm taking the bell. It's my bell.
I had 2 words in my latest speech.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to talk about them. Okay. When you think of a grocery store, you think of
Kroger.
Meyer.
Kroger, actually.
Yeah. Kroger.
Kroger.
Piggly Wiggly for
All
my
right,
second.
Kirk, your turn to ask.
My turn to ask. Branding. Wow. Okay. Now you're making me think. Branding. Computers.
HP.
All right.
Microsoft.
Apple.
Interesting.
Or, yeah.
No, that's good.
Macintosh.
Mac.
Macintosh.
Macintosh. Yes.
Phone.
AT&T.
Apple.
I just said AT&T out of the blue. I don't, it's not a phone, but that's what I thought of.
Provider. Yep.
Android.
Android. Yep.
What'd you say?
Apple.
Apple.
You're either going to be. I'm thinking Android or Apple.
Yeah.
Yeah. iPhone.
That's polarizing there.
It's interesting that I say AT&T though, which is a provider, not a phone.
Yeah.
So when I
you-
think of phones,
maybe you
I
don't
think- I
care
guess I
about the
think-
phone. You care about the provider.
Yeah, maybe so. Interesting.
So yeah, let's take it to service provider, telecom, phone service provider, right? Telecom.
Verizon.
Now you say Verizon.
Well, I don't know.
AT&T.
I guess
Yeah.
I think different.
I would have been Verizon. Yeah.
AT&T.
Do you have Verizon?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I've had them for a long time. They've been raping me for a long time.
Yeah. Great company.
I'm kind of like, that whole, the Patty Hearst syndrome,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Last one.
Let's see. You didn't say pizza, did you?
Domino's.
Domino's.
Well, it's not that I like Domino's the best. I'm just
Right,
that's
just
what comes to my
mind.
mind.
All right.
Hot and ready.
See, Little Caesars.
Oh,
Little
yeah.
Caesars.
Yeah.
Little Kaisers.
Xenos.
Zeno.
It's a little place I used to live by. Just
Dino's.
Xenos. with
Oh,
a Z.
Xenos,
Yeah.
not Dino.
So you two, so you answered this outside. So you guys went local. I said Domino's just because that's not my favorite. I don't know. Domino's has pretty good pizza now.
Hungry Howie's. That's
We'll go over someday. The success.
I would have went
the success of
Papa
Domino's.
Romano's just because I like them. But then, we got 15 different brands of pizza you can call up within a mile of your house. 15.
No, that's why branding is so important.
And they'll deliver
Well, I'm not talking.
all the same. Yeah.
Obviously, not delivery. I mean, in a literal sense, but quality of product
Sure.
and pricing is important. But this is a branding exercise. What do you think of first when you think of? All right, so let me get one out.
You got it out there.
Antacids.
Well,
Quick,
Rolaids.
go.
Rolaids. I said Rolaids.
That's not what you
Tums,
take.
what do you think?
Okay, hold on. Antacids. Go.
Antacid?
Yeah.
One,
Meyer
two.
generic.
Pepsi AC.
You're too young.
Pepsid AC. Well, no, it's an interesting
That's a good
answer
one.
because they do a ton of marketing. Pepsid AC. So if you see, I guess you see them on TV and all this, and that's what you think of when you think of antacids. Okay,
Motorcycles.
Harley.
You took mine. Harley.
No, just say it.
Harley.
Kawasaki.
Nice.
All right. Nice choice. Indian.
Nice.
Interesting.
They just closed the Indian store up on Telegraph, so I'm kind of bummed about that. Truck.
Ford.
Ford.
GM.
I was going to say Ram. I know
That's interesting.
That's
We have 3
Dodge.
different products.
Yeah.
Dodge is not Dodge is not GM.
Dodge is Ram.
Dodge is GM.
Dodge is Dodge.
Dodge is Ram now. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
under
yeah, yeah.
FCA.
Ram is the type of truck.
No,
Yeah. I know. I know you
you're
know.
schooling me on trucks.
Yeah,
Come
I
on.
am.
Now. You said GM though. Ram.
I'm terrible with cars. So I
No,
just went with
that's
it.
what you think of. Right?
You need a set of sockets. You need an old beater, and you need to get underneath the hood of a car.
But
you need to start working on them.
yeah, but I drive a Jeep. I mean, that's type of truck, right?
Man,
So, there
you
go.
can work on those all day long.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they're nice cars or trucks. Sorry.
I'm bringing back a 99 right now that I bought new off the lot. So
Nice.
yeah.
Here, let's do it.
I love
this-
Jeep.
Here, let's do it. I want to do it a different way because I think we're influencing each other's outcomes. We need a piece of paper
Okay.
and a few pens.
We did not prepare.
We will
Ryan?
prepare. We'll talk about something in the meantime.
Producer.
Because I think we're influencing each other's outcomes. This isn't a fair exercise.
I have a bunch of paper here, but I don't think I can write on it.
We don't want one blank piece of paper in this entire place. Come on now.
I think we're behind on a release, so you could just use mine.
There, here we go. Ryan's got one.
There you go.
So let's can we rip this up? Okay. So everybody we'll have to do this in quarters. All right, there's yours. There's yours, little for a little person. You write smaller. Kirk.
All right.
All right. Everybody got a pen?
2. We're gonna have to share here.
We'll share.
Hold on. I have a pen.
Okay. Write it down secretly. And no cheating.
Secretly.
No cheating like high school. All right, we'll do 3 more and call it a day. All right, so let's do 4. We'll each ask a question. I'll do mine first. When you think of great sound systems, you think of?
All right.
Okay, yours first. Sound systems, greatest sounds. Good sound system.
Klipsch.
Klipsch,
Bose.
Bose,
Pioneer.
Pioneer. I have Bose, but I don't think Bose is the best actually.
Audiophiles would slay you on an internet forum.
Yes.
Yes.
No,
they would.
I agree completely. But I'm just saying, what do you think of? This is a branding exercise.
Absolutely.
All right, your turn to ask the question. We're doing 4.
Air travel.
First thing that comes to mind. Okay.
Mine is Delta.
Delta.
Yeah, I actually just went on vacation, so that's all in my head is Delta.
Oh, where'd you go? Hold on.
The
Where'd you-
Bahamas. Yeah.
Very nice. Where?
Uh,
You don't know?
no, it was
That's
for
a-
my honeymoon.
That's
so.
a good vacation.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Did you he got married? Did you do this with your roller skating tips? That's not fair.
I did, yeah.
All right.
All those roller skating tips paid off.
I
so.
said American. I think that's because I just flew American though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Brittany, your turn to ask the question.
Underwear.
Ooh. Got it.
We'll start with Ryan.
Fruit of the Loom.
Okay.
Nice.
I got hands.
Victoria's Secrets.
I knew it.
No. Actually, I wrote down Hanes.
You guy.
I had to have a beta, an alpha male response for that. So,
What's your answer?
Oh, Victoria's Secret
Okay. Which is interesting because I don't actually wear Hanes.
or Victoria's Secret
Well,
on Thursdays.
it was dark. I had to,
After dark.
So Hanes is in. Well, who said what for Loom? Hanes,
Loom, Hanes.
and
It
Victoria's
was
Secret.
actually Hanes on my part, yeah.
All right, so
We have proof. It says Hanes.
okay. All right, Ryan, last one.
Can I say pop culture? Like, what comes to mind?
You got to find a brand, I think.
Yeah,
in there,
all
right?
right. So brand would be. You get me on the spot.
Product or service.
Oh, all right. Shipping service.
Oh, there we go.
Whatever comes to mind, right off the top of your head. This is not a what you like better. It is a branding exercise. Okay, what do you got?
Amazon. He said shipping.
Sure, fair enough.
know.
Ups.
I said ups too. UPS. What do you got?
Yeah, I'd say Amazon.
Oh, interesting
Yeah.
split. None of us said FedEx.
It occurred, but after ups.
Yeah.
Because there was a part of my parsimonious side that said, oh my God, it's going to cost me a fortune with FedEx.
Is it because FedEx is more geared towards commercial and UPS is more consumer? You think?
I would probably bet that. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And then we see UPS more on the street, at your home, whatever,
Yeah.
and Amazon.
Brown
bar.
trucks everywhere.
Right.
Right.
FedEx is more at the business.
Yeah. Now, I would have never thought Amazon. I don't think of that as a shipping service.
But they're having that new building
Yeah.
construction, like right on 96 and
275?
all that. Yeah, exactly. So
Distribution.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's becoming a thing. Obviously.
Actually, Ryan, to your point, Ryan, I think they are buying their own fleet of planes and vehicles.
And
Plus
drones.
Drones.
Plus, I think
Yeah.
they have an extended network now. We talked about this, I think, a few weeks ago, where a lot people are allowed to sign up as an Amazon shipper, shipment company.
Shipper.
So it's a
Shipper.
private entity that's shipping under the
kind of like
under
an
the Amazon.
kind of like Uber, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, where you're.
I've heard some nightmares about that already, but
We'll wait and see.
No.
Jeff Bezos is a smart cat. He'll figure it out. I want to do one more round. That was interesting.
All right.
Okay. What do you think of when you think of great places to vacation? Forget that. He just went to the Bahamas.
Yeah, I was gonna
yeah, it's
Fun
kind of
on
hanging in there.
all day long.
When you think of cruise ships, you think of? Ryan, what do you got?
Carnival.
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 I've never
Wow.
even been
Great,
on one, but
great,
that's all I can
great
think of.
branding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great branding. Even
No.
though they sink their ships all the
Yeah,
time.
no thank
Okay.
you.
I'm not a big fan of cruise ships. I'm a little bit too claustrophobic for that. But we also had Carnival. What a consensus. Great job, Carnival.
Yeah.
No,
And
good for
I
them.
actually follow. What's the one out of
Well, so
Miami?
there's Royal Caribbean. There is
Heard of that.
Yeah, Royal Caribbean.
what's the
That's
one that
I
does
actually
what's the
follow.
one that does like the river cruises? Who does that?
Mm.
They do some. They're specific for river.
Oh,
cruises,
it's in
but-
Europe.
Yeah,
Yeah, they got the long boats.
but good job, Carnival. Good
Yeah.
for you. That was the first consensus. Great.
But I don't know if I'd actually book it though.
No.
But it just comes to mind.
Well,
right.
well, but I think the point is that you'd go look. I don't know. Maybe you wouldn't book it, but they sold you on. So here's the idea. If you can make your company into a verb, I'll give you two examples. Google. I'm going to Google it.
Mm-hmm.
An action. Let's Uber.
Ride.
Lyft.
Lyft.
all that.
You've made it. I'll give you old examples. Xerox.
Jacuzzi.
I'll Xerox it. Jacuzzi, Kleenex,
Band-Aid. I mean,
Band-Aid. Thank you.
Ah, yeah.
For-
Band-Aid still sticks.
So let me go through these again.
No pun intended.
yeah, that was a good. I was like, wait.
Band-Aid is a brand, not an actual. I mean, right? Kleenex.
Adhesive strip, I think, is what.
Right, adhesive
Yeah.
strip. Thank you.
Yeah.
Kleenex is a brand by I think Procter and Gamble. Something like that. What did you say?
Jacuzzi.
Jacuzzi is a
Yeah.
brand
I didn't know that.
of jet Purple.
Really? Oh yeah. Okay. Little bit of difference in the timeline.
So, yeah, if the consensus for Carnival is that's what you think of first, they've got a leg up no matter what.
My second would be Norwegian. Actually,
Really?
Interesting.
yeah.
That's interesting.
Oh, they advertise quite a bit too.
But I'm assuming you'd be more likely to take Norwegian cruise rather than a Carnival cruise. You wouldn't go on a Carnival cruise.
He's not saying he. He's not saying he would.
I know. I'm just saying, like.
Insurance companies is good branding.
Well, there's one that could
You have to wait
Oh.
your turn.
Yeah, sorry. I just,
Oh, that was
I just
good.
thought about
That's
it.
a
I'm
good
like,
one.
I thought you guys would.
I'm gonna write mine
know some
down.
Stuff, so.
And this is I wrote down an answer that I don't use actually. Damn, interesting. I said Geico.
USAA.
Progressive.
State Farm, isn't it?
Wow.
There we go.
We're
Wow,
everywhere.
What a diversion on that one.
But I thought about all those, the ones that everyone said. I did think of that as well. I
Yeah.
just was like, they're
USA
also,
has been doing a lot of advertising lately.
And here's the thing with them: they used to only be to military, ex-military, or their families. Now they opened it up to everybody, and now they're jacking up their rates. And I'm watching it, going, I think I can do better with Allstate. I'm seeing the guy sitting there going,
Allstate owns Esurance as well.
do they?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think.
Allstate used to be out of Sears. Seriously.
Were they owned by Sears at one point?
It was a either partnership or something of that nature, but I remember Allstate and Sears. They were like that.
Don't get them started, please.
Yeah.
Not on Sears.
Oh.
They don't send me on Sears.
Let's start on Sears.
No.
Oh, we're gonna go into Sears next.
Well, we talked about the mismanagement. The guy that makes all the money by crashing the plane into the buildings.
We're gonna go to that next because Sears drive me crazy.
All right.
Yet,
All right.
Yet still.
Let's stick with marketing. Sorry.
We're almost done. Branding.
Soda or pop?
yeah.
Soft
God.
drink. Soft drink.
I already wrote it
That's a
down.
tough one because
I already wrote mine down.
Pepsi.
Go ahead.
Coke.
Now, so if we're talking about soda, does this go with like the energy drink stuff?
Sure.
'Cause, like,
Whatever,
a Red
whatever,
Bull, I
whatever
think.
came to mind.
Yeah.
Red Bull,
Red Bull.
I
What'd
mean,
you
that's
get?
crazy.
Coke.
So 2 Cokes, a Pepsi, and a Red Bull.
Yeah.
Then you'd be hyper.
Well,
Monster. Monster is
Monster too.
really
Yeah.
working that marketing thing right now.
They've been doing that for.
yeah,
I mean,
like
they-
UFC, all that stuff.
They've got it down. I mean, it shows up in games. I mean, one of the new games I'm playing right now is Forza 4 on the Xbox. And they even give you like templates that you can make a monster car with all the logos all over it and everything. And they did that in Forza 3 too. So they're pervasive. It's amazing how
They do
Monster's
it like
marketing
just like
works.
Red Bull. They do a ton of the sports,
Extreme
sports and stuff.
Yeah, they
like
have
that.
their own like tournaments and games.
You know, it's
and
interesting.
stuff.
I don't think anybody's bought Monster. Like you'd think that Coke would suck them up, but I think they're on their own. Kind of like
That's-
Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper's on its own.
Dr. Pepper's always been that floating entity out there that's always been individual and unique.
Yeah. So RC Cola, I think, it owns like I don't want to call them the B brands, but 7-Up and RC Cola, which was big when we were growing up. And all
Right.
that, but as opposed to say Coke, Pepsi, Sprite, right?
We got
And then,
Fago here. you know.
Well, Fago's
Fago.
Fago's big in Detroit, but you know, nobody
Detroit,
knows,
whoop, whoop.
nobody knows that. So.
Very true. Outside of here, yeah.
Does anybody own? No.
Well, I mean, a parent company,
Yeah, but I mean,
Hanson Natural Company.
that's surprising to me that like Coca-Cola or Pepsi, if it's just Frito-Lay, hasn't sucked up Monster or Red. Who owns? Anybody own Red Bull? I don't think so.
I bet you it's that guy from England, the guy that
Richard Branson?
Yeah, Branson. Yeah. I wonder if Red Bull's under Branson. It's one of Branson's holdings. I don't know why, but I think of Red Bull, I think of Branson.
You know, it's always interesting. We'll do this on maybe the next podcast to see what companies own certain things. It is very interesting exercise. Like Procter and Gamble's their lineup is enormous, and who owns who.
Yeah.
And Johnson & Johnson's another one. They own a ton of companies.
They've been around forever.
GE
too.
owns a ton of companies.
This might be bringing up something actually in the beginning of your guys' podcast. You know, like how would I word it? Like medical branding. You know, like
Yeah.
aspirin. I mean,
Oh,
and like
yeah.
all that stuff.
Bear.
You know, it's like you think, but those aren't what they are. They're the names of the brands. You
Right.
know,
Exactly.
so that's a whole probably other
Yeah,
thing.
that's like chemical industry. And
Yeah.
Well,
the
what-
chemical industry is completely
what
different.
other aspirin do you think of besides Bayer?
Well, we've been
There's-
programmed with it
besides
for so long,
generic.
so-
We've been
Advil, Tylenol.
Oh, but that's not.
But it's not aspirin.
That's
If you're
ibuprofen
thinking
and
just aspirin.
acetaminophen.
Exactly.
But like, who knows that? Though? Some people are like, I go for headache or body aches, and
Excedrin.
Excedrin's one. And it
Well,
gets,
slow down for a second.
Yeah, sorry.
So let's consume it into one question.
yeah.
Headache.
No.
Headache relief.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah?
With the opioid stuff, it's just like pain, over-the-counter pain meds. You know?
Crack.
Big
Meth.
headache. You think? It's a brand. Write it down.
I think Advil.
You got Advil. I got Tylenol. Not because I actually take Advil more, but
I get Tylenol too, but I take ibuprofen. So
which is Advil,
Excedrin.
which is acetaminophen. or
Acetaminophen. Yeah,
which
they
is
got like a
Tylenol.
good migraine medicine.
That's
And they have
Tylenol.
caffeine in that too.
Right.
So Excedrin, Tylenol, and Advil. Interesting.
Sinus decongestant. So if you're thinking, hey, sinus decongestant, all right?
Oh, what's that snot one?
I know what you're talking
The
about.
booger one.
the commercials.
Mucinex.
Mucinex.
Mucinex, yeah,
Yeah.
that.
Well, I
That's
said
what I'm thinking.
I got Mucinex.
For sinus, NyQuil. I mean,
Okay.
That's asleep.
that's like cough.
That's like coma
Yeah,
for
but
2
Yeah, when you
days.
think when
All
you
right.
think
It's
I don't
'cause you're
feel
so
I don't feel
sick
well
with
going
your-
night night.
Yeah.
I think NyQuil.
I have the last question.
Okay, well let me finish this one off, please.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
go
what's
ahead.
what's
Go
what's
ahead. I thought we were
sinus?
done.
what's your sinus?
Mucinex. You have
All right, Dayquil.
Dayquil,
Mucinex.
Mucinex.
Mucinex. And I
Good job, Mucinex. They're second in line to Carnival.
A little booger man running around.
Yeah, that little snot man.
Good commercials.
Yeah, I guess so. They get in your head. They're like, I need that green booger out of my head. Right? Oh my God. All right, so
It's the season.
was that it? We done
Yeah,
with
we're
our
done.
branding exercise?
We're done.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
move on.
interesting though. It's interesting.
I'm taking away the pelican.
Oh, it's interesting because a lot of the stuff that we wrote down is not what you use. Like actually, I don't. What were some of my answers?
I buy the generic equivalent.
Exactly. I know all those, and those all pop in my head. But I'll go to a CVS, a Rite Aid, you get obviously the one that's the same thing with the same amount of ingredients, which
$12, $5.
But
Exactly.
they don't advertise them though. So I agree when you go to the store that you might buy a generic brand, but they don't advertise that. So it's a matter of what do you think of when you think of whatever. So when you think of car insurance, you think Geico. I don't even have Geico, but apparently they're advertising enough to get me to think
That little lizard
car
is
insurance
so
make.
cute.
Oh, that's the point.
He's so cute.
That's the whole point
and
of the
he's
exercise.
British. How could you not?
Wow.
He's Australian, actually.
and they had
Oh, he is?
He's
All right.
Australian.
Well, he's cute.
and they had the caveman one for Geico, and didn't that like win awards?
Geico,
Yeah.
Geico nails it every time. I mean, they've had some.
Who's the
great
one?
ad
They're the ones that do weird commercials.
Geico.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Progressive does.
No, Progressive's
Kind
got
of.
the girl.
they
Yeah.
got
She's
Flo.
cool.
Flo's pretty
Flo.
cool.
I don't know. Flo bugs me sometimes.
She
Who's the
does?
mayhem
Yeah.
guy? He's
Oh,
Mayhem
Allstate.
was awesome.
Allstate.
That's Allstate.
All right.
Yeah, he's
He's
awesome.
still-
No, he's the best. He's
Impressive,
like,
yeah.
I'm your
I'm your
fry
GPS.
underneath your seat that you're trying to get, or your dollar that you
I'm your
dropped.
bad day.
I'm your bad day.
Right.
You know that guy was on Oz.
Was he?
Yeah, the show from HBO.
He was
was
also on
much
John
younger.
Wick 1,
He was much
which
younger. He
it
was
was
much
so
younger.
hard to watch John Wick 1 with him. as being like the second in command of the henchmen.
He's a good.
I kept waiting for chaos to happen.
He's actually a very good actor.
Oh, John Wick was mayhem in that. So.
It was. I'm waiting for him to whip out an insurance policy.
Before you kill me, is this sign here?
Should we leave? You guys want to talk?
No, it's sorry.
Oh, cool.
There's a bromance happening.
Yeah. You
John
guys
Wick's
like-
cool.
You guys dating?
John Wick was freaking
No,
awesome.
I think it was a great movie. It was that one that Mitchell showed us with oh my God. Sorry about that. I'll have to bring it up next time.
All right.
It's a Filipino movie.
Oh, that one was great.
It's like it's not much.
It
It's an action flick and has subtitles, and normally I would never do that because I get very annoyed. But it was such a cool action flick. It's a John Wick type feel. One of my top 10s. Now,
Like an early Jackie Chan kind of thing?
yeah, but even very vivid.
I can text him.
Yeah, text him and
It
find
might
out
be
what that
out.
is. Oh, I can't remember the name of it. Saw it maybe a month ago. My son was insistent that I watch it. Extremely well done. There's 2 of them, in fact.
Netflix?
No,
Nah.
I don't think so, at least. I started watching Making a Murderer, the 2nd season.
You did?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Nothing else to do at 3 o'clock in the morning. Only 1 episode so far.
You can catch up. You'll be fine.
I should have seen the 1st season.
It was kind of boring.
Whatever.
My favorite part about the 1st season is, I think it's the 1st episode. The guy, he's like holding a kid, and he like just got out of jail, and he's
Yeah.
like having a party. It's like,
Right.
this isn't even my kid. I don't even know who he is.
Yeah,
Like the reporter's talking to
I
him.
think it was. I think it
It's
was.
so fun.
Yeah, he doesn't know who it is. I think it's his sister's baby,
Yeah.
right, or something like
He's
that.
like, I have no idea who this kid is, but and you think it's like his son or whatever. It's like I have no idea.
Oh, I'm just giving my kid to a murderer,
And he's, like,
escaped
talking to a
convict.
reporter.
Actually, so
Yeah.
in all fairness, he was exonerated from that murder.
Yeah.
All right.
He was found not to be guilty, and the whole point of the whole series is that he is convicted yet again, meaning that they're just out for this family or this guy. That's the whole point of the entire documentary, and it's questionable, right? Whether he and certainly his nephew, I think it is,
Yeah.
did this at all. They're very respectfully simpletons, if you will, and I'm still on the radar of they didn't do any of this, right? But you know, films are edited in certain ways. It's difficult to really tell, but because they err on the side of, I mean, it is called Making a Murderer. The proposition being he didn't actually do it. Well, the point is he didn't do the first murder. He spent, how much time was it? 7 years? Seven.
It was a lot.
It was like 17 years or something. I don't know. It was a long time. He spent a long time in prison for the first one and was exonerated. Somebody died a couple of years later named Tracy Halbach, I think it was. And they took him down for that one, plus his nephew. And it's questionable whether they did that or not. This might be a guy who's actually spending time in prison his entire life for not doing anything wrong. But yeah, that's an interesting one. So the movie was called The Raid.
Oh yeah, that's like
Have you seen The Raid?
yeah, it was like a Korean.
I think it's Filipino.
Philippine. Yeah. But I just knew that. I like a lot of martial art films, and they did all their stunts like real. It was
Unbelievable.
pretty
done.
crazy.
Unbelievably done. Very exciting to watch. Forget the subtitles. You don't read them. Just watch the movie.
Yeah, you don't need to know much. Guy goes in, he's beating up a bunch of people. Bad guys at top.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a fun movie to watch. Like it's a very John Wick-ish type movie, meaning it's action packed the whole way.
Well, I'm just wrapping up season 3 of Daredevil.
Daredevil. Who's
Man.
what's on that? Is that Netflix?
Netflix, yeah. Netflix, content. Daredevil, basically from the old Marvel comic book line. Season 1, Season 2, excellent.
My God.
Season 3 is just brutal. Just brutal. So, I highly recommend it.
Is it so it's a comic? Is it DC Comics or something like
No,
that?
Marvel.
Marvel. Okay.
Marvel.
I have a tough time getting into all that stuff, but I'll check it out.
I usually do, but I mean, I'm telling you, it's just the writing and the story. It's so solid, and it's dealing with a lot of it deals with a lot of moral issues, right? People being conflicted about what they're doing, how they're doing it, that type of thing. And then you've got, the element of pure evil in it. And then you see in this season, you actually see an element of even more evil than the pure evil of the villain, which when I sat there and I watched, I went, oh my God,
Is this
no spoilers.
Is this a Netflix original?
Yes. Yeah, well, it's tied in with Marvel.
I think somebody's getting sued by a cult. Netflix is being sued by a cult. I can't. I don't think it's Daredevil.
The Wild Wild Country people. I saw that documentary. I was like, what is
it? What is it called?
They have a bunch of cult documentaries, but they had that one that got some buzz, the Wild Wild Country. It was in it was that whole cult that they started in I can't remember what state it was now, but yeah, they basically took it all over in like the 90s, I think it was.
I think I might have seen ads for that.
And it was just like
They have a bunch of like weird documentary cult type things on Netflix. It's pretty cool to watch. This one's called, per Brittany, is Satanic Temple suing Netflix over Sabrina.
Oh.
What? Sabrina, the Sabrina the cat thing?
They rebooted it.
I've never seen the is this the cat thing?
Yeah.
What the hell are they suing them over?
I don't know.
Everybody's just so happy. I'm sick of it.
They're just looking for attention.
No.
Jeez.
I don't get it.
Huh.
Sabrina the cat.
Sabrina.
That's like
Well, she had a talking cat.
that's
and
like
she-
suing Bewitched.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
silly.
my cat talks to me too.
Yeah.
He says, "Asshole, let me out."
Yeah.
Sick of sitting around this house.
Yeah. I don't know. People just so happy. Drives up costs. Doesn't do much else.
They're just looking for some money.
Yeah. Just
Got to build another temple.
just flagrant, tortious powers. Go ahead. No, it's ridiculousness. That's a show.
That is, yeah, with the skateboard dude.
Yeah, what's his name?
Uh,
You know what? Too many ads on
Yeah.
that thing. You just go onto YouTube and go down a rabbit hole if I want to see people fail.
Or Live Leak.
Yeah, go to Live Leak or if you type in fails on YouTube, you can just go down a rabbit hole for like 6 hours watching people fail at stuff.
and they're all great.
Yeah, they all are funny. It's like episode 1 through 80,000. I get sucked into that all the time.
I always love the guys jumping off of roofs of houses into pools. It's just, I don't know why. It's just, what were you thinking?
Yeah, same thing we were thinking when we were 14 years old, 15, 20.
These guys don't look like they're 14 or 15. That's where you go, wait, dude, you're really not thinking this through, are you?
Yeah, 40-year-olds.
Yeah.
Like jumping off a roof.
Hold my beer.
You're gonna break your ankle.
I got this.
Oh, there we go. There's a Google. Hold my beer and see what comes up on
there you
that
go.
one.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
I think that's a Twitter handle.
I'm probably no doubt about it. Hold my beer. Actually, the original name of the show was going to be Over a Beer.
Over a beer. I think it.
But
It
since we
should
just
be.
drank water, it didn't work.
Well, yeah. False.
You guys can drink whatever you want.
False advertising. That's like the worst smelling thing ever when somebody does that.
What's that?
That
The Pepsi burp?
that Pepsi burp. You drink a Coke, that'll give you a burp immediately. I don't know what it is.
Diet Pepsi?
You get that. Oh,
carbonation.
Oh no, I can rock the windows out of the house with a Diet Pepsi burp. Oh yeah, we have competitions in the house between me and my sons. So
Why Pepsi over Coke? Smaller bubbles.
just Diet Pepsi tastes better. I can't drink regular Pepsi.
Than
I can drink it, but yeah,
Why? Caffeine,
yeah, caffeine, sugar.
sugar, too much.
Oh, I used to drive around with 8 packs of glass bottles in the back of my car. When I went to work, of Pepsi. So
Regular Pepsi.
regular Pepsi.
I liked it because it seems to have a smaller concentration of bubbles. They're finer.
I think it had
than-
more
than-
carbonation.
than-
Well, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
the Coke bubbles seem to be larger. Is it just me?
Maybe.
Coke does seem a little heavier. I give it that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Coke has got a more syrupy kind of thing going.
Yeah.
And and you know what? If I had an upset stomach, I would drink a Coke instead of a Pepsi.
it was interesting years and years ago. This is probably about 10, 15 years ago, at least. There's a guy who worked at Coke. A guy that worked at Pepsi, I think, that went to Coke, or somehow figured out. Anyway, he got the Coke formula,
Oh.
the true formula, and tried to sell it to Pepsi. And Pepsi, for 2 reasons, didn't take it. One is they couldn't, and the other is they shouldn't.
Right.
They turned him in. And they said, listen, if we're going to win by winning, not by cheating. We don't want the Coke formula.
Wow.
I like it.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Of course, they wrote it down, but
We wrote it down and put it in the safe where nobody's going to look at it.
It's not said that they wrote it down. They turned the guy in and said, we don't want the Coke formula. We'll do the respectful thing and turn this guy in, and we'll try to win on the basis
Coke
of
was
a
first.
better product.
Coke was first. So,
Yeah, but if you look at some of those old, old school stores, these mom and pops, they got those Pepsi things all over them. Those signs up. Yeah, they put the signs up, Pepsi and ice cream.
oh yeah,
You know when a drugstore sold 3 things, bubble gum, ice cream, and
soda
Pepsi,
and soda.
and your prescription. That was
They call them soda shops, right?
soda shops. That was it.
That was way before our time.
Was it though?
I don't think it was actually.
Our parents would remember that. They
I think
could
it was
tell you where they
it
went.
was,
for
it was
sodas.
definitely during their time, but I think it held on through the 70s. But in the 80s, everything started. All this when Walmart came out, it kind of destroyed everything. So,
All right, where are we going to take this to wrap it today? 2 minutes?
2 minutes.
Dang.
Oh, look.
What did I tell you about timing? You don't know this. I'll sit here and talk for 2 hours if I feel like it.
And there's no one after us.
You just may not be here.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll keep the
That's my
boards
line.
running. so-
That's my line.
Let's talk about project management.
Oh Lord.
No, that's a whole
No,
conversation.
God,
So
no.
why don't we talk about something like this? Don't forget, for all the crap that we talk about, I'm gonna be. I'm not being weird or anything like that. Just give back a little bit to the community.
All right.
I understand that. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to people in general. Right? We all do. There's so many things that you can do for people. It doesn't mean money. It doesn't mean this. It doesn't mean that. It just means just do something. Pay forward a little bit. Pick up a bag for carry something for somebody.
Open a door.
Open a door, for God's sakes. Why not always be such assholes all the time? Everybody's into themselves nowadays. It's not even paying it forward. Be a gentleman. It's okay. Right? Agree with me, please.
No,
Oh, I
agree.
totally
Be a
agree.
gentleman.
No, and,
And I was just thinking of
There's
the
two-
inverse.
there-
Be a
there-
lady.
there's
and
two-
being be a lady.
Be a lady. Be a gentleman.
Being-
It's okay.
Being kind costs nothing.
Yeah, okay, right. So I'm not talking about money. It doesn't have to be money.
Right.
It could be just good gestures to people, being kind to people, being a little bit more neighborly. My God, what happened to neighbors? Doing things for people that, I do it all the time. I'm not looking for a pat on the back. If I see somebody that needs a bit of an assist. Be a little bit more understanding that everybody has their troubles and their problems and is going through difficult times, and give back a little bit in some capacity, whatever you can do. It doesn't mean go sign up for the Peace Corps. You don't have to take it to the
That's okay too.
oomph length. No. I'm saying it's not like you have to give up your
Go
life.
for it. Yeah.
You have to give up your life in order to do good, right? All you get some small gestures to people mean the world to them, and everybody just give back a little bit. That's what I'd like to say on the way out today. So we'll talk about project management, how fucked up that is next time.
All right, let's save that for later. Let's leave it
right.
on a good note.
So everybody, will see you next week. Thank you to all.
Thank you.
And to Ryan, thank you as well.
Thanks.
Thanks. This has been fun.
Yeah, good time. Thanks. Bye.